If you're like most law firm owners, you don't struggle with hitting record. You struggle with everything that comes after. What to talk about next, how to stay consistent, whether any of it's actually working, how it fits into the business, not just your week. That's the one part no one really teaches. That's what we're focused on at the YouTube Accelerator in Chicago this June. Not how to make one good video, but how to actually run a YouTube channel for your law firm. The strategy behind it, the systems that keep it going, the decisions that make it worth your time. If YouTube has felt scattered or stalled, this is the room for you. Come spend a couple of days with us in Chicago. Check out the event details at maxlawevents.com.
This is Maximum Lawyer with your host, Tyson Mutrix.
Welcome back to Maximum Lawyer Live. I am Tyson Mutrix, and today I am extremely excited about what I'm going to talk about because I'm talking about consumers versus builders. That's what I'm talking about. This kind of stems from a conversation that I was having with Jeremy Danielson yesterday. We were kind of shooting some audio messages back and forth, and I kind of got on my soapbox about something, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. I told him, I was like, you know what, maybe I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. So decided to. It's because there are people right now that are using AI, and then there are people that are building with AI. And that is going to be a distinction that's going to matter more than anything over the next 3 to 5 years. The builders that are building with AI, and then the consumers that are just consuming AI. Big difference. The reason why that is that the best way to predict the future is to create it. I've talked about that before. That's a Peter Drucker quote, but it's spot on. You got to create your own future right now, and the power is in your hands. The default lately, and I think since the beginning, I think it's a normal default. Here's the AI that was created. Let's consume that AI. That is, typing into ChatGPT, find me a good restaurant to go to this weekend. That's what I'm talking about. Or help me rewrite this paragraph, which is something I've been, sort of guilty of, using it to that extent. But what I really want to encourage you to do is shift from that mindset into a building mindset. Because if you're just consuming AI at this point, you're just renting is what you're doing. Builders are going to own the future. If you are consuming, you're just renting, and you'll be renting forever. You are going to rent yourself into a life of renting is what's going to happen. You really need to get out of that mindset. The biggest risk is not taking a risk. That's really what it's about. And what's really cool is that these days is like, you don't have to be a coder to be a builder. There are a lot of tools out there that you can use to build things for you. What's kind of something I've been tinkering around with lately is I'm using Claude's Cowork to then communicate with Bolt to then build things, vibe code it. So what saves me the most time with that is there are many times there are follow-up prompts that need to be done with Bolt to help complete a task. Sometimes something will be built and then it doesn't work properly. You got to test it out. What's great is I can give a prompt to Claude and it'll see it through until it's done. It could take hours. That's what's kind of crazy. Sometimes it will take hours. Like I've got one it's going right now on my laptop next to me. It has been going since about, 7:00 this morning. And I gave it a very big task to build something, and it's in the middle of doing it. But when it's done, it's going to save a tremendous amount of time. It's going to be an amazing upgrade for our team. And so that's why I'm doing it. And what's great about all this is that you're building things. This is what I'm talking about, the renting versus the building. I'm building something that I'm not going to have to pay every single month to some software company, some SaaS company, every single for decades. Think about how much money you spent. I talked about this in the association just the other day about how much we spent with different software companies, and it's a tremendous amount of money. And if you can take that money and you shift that into the profit category, think about that. Like okay, now I've shifted that into the profit category because I'm not spending it anymore because I've built my own thing that I'm not having to pay every single month on. Now there might be some other costs that are associated with it. Feel like, could be like storage costs or whatever, you name it, but it's a fraction. I'm talking a tiny, tiny fraction. You can shift that in the profit category where it gives you, it's like fun money at that point where you can decide, okay, I can pocket that cash. I can get bonuses. I can put the pedal to the metal when it comes to AI, or I can do that with marketing. It frees up a lot for you. And I'm I'm very worried for the legal tech industry. I really am. I don't know how they're going to survive this. I don't. I really don't know. But who knows? Maybe they've got a master plan. But I really don't know. But back on topic here. We're really in this classic first mover environment. There are it's funny. There Hormozy shared something on social media a couple months ago, and people kind of repeat it. When I thought it was kind of funny because it was like, that is, what are you talking about? Like, that is a model from the 70s that were created by these economists. It's not a lot of people thought it was a Hormozy thing, but a part of that is like the first mover environment. And that's where we are. If you look at kind of like the lean startup model, you build, measure, learn. That's now happening in a really unprecedented manner. The speed is incredible. And that's just because the AI it's reducing that friction dramatically. There's something that I'd seen a couple weeks ago about every 7 months, the capabilities are doubling, I think is what it is, of AI. So every 7 months, the capabilities are doubling. Like that is, and it's like like clockwork. Like every 7 months, it happens. Every 7 months, boom, 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 boom. So if you just kind of imagine where we are now and where we're going to be in 7 months, it's, it's already been an amazing ride. I think many of you that have been building, you've seen the acceleration, how it's been picking up over the last several months. It seemed like there was a slowing, and I think that was because Claude. My whole thought is that Claude was holding a lot of this back, as opposed to like OpenAI, where it seems like they have an update, they release it. They have an update, they release it. So it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But Claude, it seemed like they were holding on to a bunch, and then they release it, and then the game changed. At this point, it's almost game over. I think OpenAI is really on the ropes. They've taken a beating over the last few months, and Gemini and Claude are the dominant forces. But at this pace, OpenAI can rebound. I don't think there's any. It's been this neck and neck race between those three over the last few years. But a big part of what you need to be doing at this point is build to fail, build. You're gonna fail, but iterate, build, fail, iterate, build, fail, iterate over and over and over again. And you're eventually going to build these products that are for your firm. You're going to build firms. You can build your own AI firm at this point. My opinion about 6 months ago, it's whenever I spoke at Hona's conference, and Disrupt Conference is what it was called. So it may have been 9 months ago or so. What I said back then is that at that point you could build a mediocre AI firm, all AI. You really could. At where we are right now, I actually think you could build a good all AI firm. I really do believe that. It would take some work, but the advances have been that great that I think you actually could. I think you could do it. It takes a massive organization, and you can't just, do it without a plan, but I completely think you could do it at this point. I've done enough testing that I think it's completely possible. The big hurdle that you have to get over is the voice AI. I know people like Jeremy Danielson are using voice AI very effectively. I'm very hesitant with our firm to implement voice AI. It takes away some of our advantage when it comes to that customer service part of it, but he's doing it really, really well. We're just completely different business models. But the main thing is you need to be building, though, whatever it is, whether you try to go with a full AI law firm or not. And I think that most people at this point, most law firm owners think building means software development. And it kind of does, but it not fully. It really means at this point, really, and this kind of goes back to like the AI type of law firm, if it means designing systems, right? Intake automations, AI agents for a variety of different things, marketing workflows, different decision frameworks. It means all of those different things. That's really what we're talking about. And what's funny is like that is not much different than what running a law firm has been like traditionally. The big difference is that all the friction has been removed with AI. You can do many of these things with AI where you're not having to do it yourself. Like, for example, some of the tools I'm building out, like I told you, I'm doing it. I'm using AI to use an AI to build it out, which the reason why that's important is that the AI that I'm using, so Cowork can actually code. So I can't code. So if it can go in, it can verify what's happening with Bolt, and Bolt, if it messes something up, Cowork can go in and say, look at the code. Oh, here's where you screwed up. Go fix this, or it'll fix it itself. I don't have that coding background, so I can't do that. But that's where this advantage, and that happens all across the board from not just coding, but from, think about it. How many of you looked up medical advice? How many of you, even though you're lawyers, have looked up legal advice? I have there just the other day. Okay. I thought a law was one thing and I wanted to verify it and I searched it and I said I was right, but it was one of those things where I wasn't 100% positive. I wanted to bring up the statute. It brought the statute. It gave me its analysis of it. I read it. I verified that it was accurate. So I wasn't worried about hallucinations, but it was one of those things where we were just having a conversation internally about something. And I was like, I think the law is this. Let's look this up. So I looked it up really quick and I was right. But that is something that across all areas of our lives, that's happening. So this is what, so it removes that friction. So it allows us to move a lot faster. And one of the things I was talking to Jeremy about is that I am at this point, any free time I have, I'm building. Any free time at all. If I'm not doing that's something that's absolutely necessary at the firm, I'm building. If I've got free time at home where, the kids are off doing something and, Amy and I aren't doing something, I'm building. Okay. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing this nonstop because it is that important. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. This is going to sound like sort of a closed mindset, but just stick with me for a second. The way I kind of view AI right now is and I hope I haven't said this before, but it's kind of like this portal. And if you imagine this portal where it's open right now, it's a circle, like in a movie, you can walk through it and you got the future on the other side. I feel like every day that portal is kind of closing just a little bit. Every day, a little bit more and a little bit more, a little bit more. And all the people that are building right now, they're going to make their way to the other side of that portal. And there's going to be people that don't. It's going to close at some point and they're not going to make it through. And they're going to be stuck on this side. Because there's going to be a point where they're going to start to see, oh, the portal's getting smaller. It's pretty small, but I can still make it. And they'll start late. But by the time they get almost there, the portal will be closed. And so at that point, they're going to be renting. The builders are going to be the ones that own the future. And then the renters are going to be on this side of the portal and they're going to be renting forever. That is what I don't want for you. I want you to be a builder. I want you to make it through that portal on the other side. That's how big of a deal this is. I think it's the portal is there. It's open for anyone that wants to go through it. You have to do the work right now. And so kind of what I'm saying is if some of your cases take a little bit longer, okay, they take a little bit longer. Sacrifice a little bit of those short-term wins for some long-term wins, for really long-term domination. Sacrifice a little bit of that now for the long term. And this is really no different from what I normally preach, because we talk about rocks and we talk about doing, your product versus process goals, and you want to focus on the process. This is really make part of your process building at this point, right? Kind of a hat tip to, Jason Selk. Those are his terms. Process. Make building a part of your process. Because if you don't, you're going to get stuck on this side of the portal. And I don't want that for you. So let me kind of give you a prompt here. So just think about if you could, as you're listening to this or as you're watching this, if you're watching it live, if you could automate just one thing in your firm by tomorrow, what would it be? And this could be an automation, it could be an AI, whatever it may be. But think about what that thing is and go do it. Stop listening to this thing right now. Becca's going to kill me for saying that, but go do it. Go build it, or do it while you are listening to this thing, because you have no excuse. If you're listening to this right now or you're watching this right now, you can do this with Cowork over on another screen. Oh, I want to build this widget on my website. Okay, go build the widget on your website. Tell Cowork to do it and go give it the credentials to do it, and it'll do it for you. It's that easy. That's what's crazy about it. It's that easy right now, where you just tell it to do it. You can do your other work. You can do your normal thing that you normally do, and it can be working in the background. That's what's so amazing about it. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I'll kind of whisper this because I'm at the office. During our meetings today, I want to be kind of peeking to see how things are going with Cowork and see what the hell the bills go. I'll probably add some more prompts, and I'll still be building throughout the day as I'm doing other things, as I'm doing my normal Wednesday meeting day. I'll be doing those things in the background. So really nothing will change with my day. I'll still be building. It'll just be kind of in the background on the side. Okay. Really important. All right. And something else I want to talk about is the psychological barrier to this a little bit, and why I think people really aren't building. I don't think it's technology. I do think part of it is technology, but I don't think that's the main thing. I put some things in the association, some really basic documents in the association last week. And the reason why I did that is I think there are some people that just don't know where to start. They are a little bit scared. And, with lawyers, a lot of times it's identity, right? They're trained to analyze, or we are trained to analyze. Many times we're taught to reduce risk. I think a little bit less in the PI sector, but most lawyers, I think, kind of want some certainty. Builders, they do the opposite. So I'm kind of asking you to step outside of most of your comfort zones and do the opposite and build. Take some risk here. Because once you start it, I think once you start some of this, where you start the building, you're going to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, then you're going to start to get comfortable. Like, oh, this isn't nearly as difficult as I thought. There's this Sheryl Sandberg quote. If you're offered a seat on a rocket ship, don't ask what seat, just get on. And that is what I'm telling you. Okay. If you're offered, so you've been offered a seat on a rocket ship. Okay. That's what's happened. Get the frick on it. That's what I'm saying. Get on the rocket ship. Because once you're on, it may seem scary, the fact that you're getting on a rocket ship. But once you're on, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, this isn't too bad. This is actually a lot of fun. And next thing you know, you're up in the atmosphere, looking down at Earth, thinking, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's what the opportunity is at this point. Because, part of this too is, like, you got to remember, your firm is only going to grow to the level of the systems that you're willing to build. And if you're not willing to build those more advanced systems, your firm is going to stay down here while everyone else is going up here. Okay. That is the reality of it. So don't stay down here, grow up here. And that doesn't mean you have to grow to 50,000 people, right? That doesn't mean you have to add another seat. With a lot of the stuff, it'll actually make it where you don't have to. You can hire probably less people if you want to. Like I said before, that's not our plan. Our plan is to keep our people, use them for the customer service side of things, make our clients happy. That's what I want to keep our people for, because I think that they're by far the best at being able to do that. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the future when it comes to this. And what I talk about snowballs a lot, and I talk about compounding and all that. You got to remember, a lot of part of the future is going to be builder compounding and market separation, because AI is accelerating everything. Marketing, operations, delivery of your legal services. The firms that are going to build those internal systems, those external systems, those are going to create exponential advantages that compound over time. They're going to have increased efficiency. They're going to have increased margins, increased client experience. Think about this, like the margins here's what the margins are going to be able to do. So the increased efficiency, which will also improve margins. They're going to be able to take that money and dump it in other things that you're not going to be able to. So maybe spend more money in marketing, the money that you don't have because you're not doing it. That's the difference, right? They're going to have that extra money because they've increased the efficiency, and they're going to outcompete you. That's what's going to happen. So what's going to happen is they're going to be the firms that don't build, and they're the ones that are they're going to learn too late. But the thing is, you got to have to change before you have to. That's the key. You got to change before you have to. That's an old Jack Welch quote. So start doing that. Focus on building. Start to wrap things. But think about, like, where do you want your firm to be when all this settles? Okay, where do you want your firm to be when all this when the portal closes? Where do you want your firm to be? And my guess is if you start now, you're going to overshoot that, which is fantastic. That you're going to be in a much better position than what you even expected. But even if you don't quite hit it, you're going to be still in a great spot on the other side of this portal. And so I think that there's some very exciting times ahead, but you have to take action. So if you take just one thing from this episode, it's this: don't wait to understand everything. Start building now, because the people who build today, okay, the people that build today are the ones everyone else will be chasing tomorrow. Okay. So get there before the portal closes. Have a great week, everybody. And we will be seeing you. Make sure you check out beccaslist.co, where you can find the best vendors and the worst, but the best vendors for you that can help you in your firms. And if you want more information about the association, go to maximumlawyer.com. And if you want more information about MaxLawCon, go to maxlawevents.com. See you, everybody. Take care.
Before you go, quick shout out to Becca's List. If you've ever hired a vendor for your law firm and immediately thought, yeah, that wasn't it, this exists for you. Becca's List is a curated list of companies that work with law firm owners. No paid placements, no random recommendations, just real reviews from law firm owners who have already learned the hard way. If you want to see what's working for other firms and help us grow Becca's List to the largest place for law firms to find trusted answers, head to beccaslist.co and leave your first review today.